Hey everyone, Mr. Sujano here, your source for gaming, tech, emulation, and open source news. Let's get started. Alright, we'll kick things off talking about Nintendo Switch emulation with Yuzu, and we talked about Yuzu yesterday with some early access changes. And those changes have already made their way to the mainline build. So as of Yuzu mainline version 17.22, it handles VRAM more efficiently, allowing better VRAM usage in general. And it reduces menu stuttering in The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom on lower-end hardware using texture recompression. And Yuzu mainline version 17.23 adds a brand new feature here, a toggle to decide how much VRAM is allocated for games. The setting can be found in your advanced graphics settings. There are two settings here, conservative to allow 7 GB of VRAM at native resolution, and allow more VRAM depending on scaling value. The higher the more allowed. This will prevent Yuzu from slowing down when used with third-party programs that require VRAM. And the second setting here, I think a lot of people are going to try out, and I said that in yesterday's video as well. That's the aggressive setting. And this one allows Yuzu to use most of the available VRAM for games. It will reduce stutter, and they recommend using it when no other programs are required to be run. Next up, this is a quick one. Infidelity appears to be porting Punch-Out for the NES to the SNES. Infidelity has ported a whole bunch of different games, and I'll drop a link to this tweet in the description below. This is pretty interesting. Moving on, and I might mispronounce this one, but we're talking about hekate Nyx. And this is in regards to Nintendo Switch Modding. For those who may not be aware, this is a custom graphical Nintendo Switch bootloader, firmware patcher, tools, and many more. For example, with this tool, you can switch between custom firmware and official firmware. So at the time of filming, the bundled hekate version 6.1.0 and Nyx version 1.6.0 have just dropped. So for hekate, we've got a bunch of fixes, some improvements, optimizations, and it also allows boot partition to be exFAT. And for Nyx, we've got similar changes, bug fixes, improvements, optimizations, and new things. For example, the fan is now controlled in a finer way. And support was added for Android 13 Plus dynamic partition scheme. If you are curious about this, I'll drop a link to the GitHub in the description below and feel free to check it out. These are 100% free and open source. Next up, we're talking about Google Pay, and if you use Google Pay, it's going away. So specifically for the US, it appears that you can use the app until June 4th, and they're recommending transferring your funds out of there by June 4th. After June 4th, it appears you'll have to log into the Google Pay website. Next up, we're talking about PSVR 2, and PlayStation dropped some very interesting news today. They share this information in a very small paragraph in a fairly lengthy article, and they say also, we're pleased to share that we are currently testing the ability for PSVR 2 players to access additional games on PC. We hope to make this support available in 2024, so stay tuned for more updates. Unless I'm reading that wrong, it appears that PSVR 2 support is headed to PC. And speaking about unexpected stuff, next up we're talking about the Steam Deck, and someone has modded their Steam Deck to kind of resemble a 3DS, or at least function like one. I'll drop a link to this Reddit post in the description below and feel free to check it out. The end result here, I would say, is not necessarily pretty, but at the same time, it seems pretty functional. The Redditor here posted everything they used as well as a small tutorial, and the overall cost here, provided you've already got a Steam Deck, is about $183. Let me know your thoughts about this one in the comments below. Do you think $183 is worth it for this setup, and would you enjoy it? And speaking about enjoying stuff, or rather the opposite of that, next up we're talking about Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. And it appears that Rockstar is removing music from this game. This person noticed that the song One Step Forward by the Desert Rose Band was removed. They don't know when it was removed, but they did some digging and found out that about 20 or so songs have been removed in total. The radio station file size with all music was originally 903 megabytes. And now it's down to about 808. Now obviously this does not affect physical copies of Grand Theft Auto San Andreas that are not connected to the internet, But in my opinion, this is one of the big downsides of an all-digital future. And last up here, this one is crazy. Someone's got Mac OS running on a Nintendo DS. If you are curious about this one, I'll drop a link to the YouTube video in the description below and feel free to check it out. It even showcases how this person kind of got this thing running. Is it the best on there? Absolutely not, but at the same time, it's still pretty cool. And as a bonus piece of news, last up here, we're talking about CD-Romance, and I was pinged a whole bunch about this one today. Someone asks, download links are back up, and someone says, yep, and someone else says, hell yeah. But anyways, that is all I've got for you in this one. Straight to the point, all stuff and no fluff. We talked about a few things today. Let me know your thoughts about absolutely any of them in the comments below. If you liked this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, leave a like. Hit that subscribe button, check out my other videos. Don't tempt fate, save your state.